Welcome back to week 3, day 3. Again, I'm Mrs. Kenneth, Title I Math Coach over at Lucille Brown Middle School. And today we're going to start working on 8.12b, which is where we're going to have to analyze these box and whisker plots. First, let's review the homework solutions from yesterday. So problem number 1, you needed to create that box and whisker plot. So first you put the numbers in order from least to greatest, also called ascending order. You would have found that the minimum was 50, the lower quartile 70, the median was 80, the upper quartile was 90, and the maximum or the upper extreme was 100. You have a vertical line above the number line for each one of those numbers in the 5-number summary. You connected the lower quartile to the upper quartile for the box, and then extended a line out to the lower extreme and out to the upper extreme for the whiskers. Question number 2, you did the same thing with a different set of data. All right, so first you put it in order from least to greatest. Then you would have found that the lower extreme was 75, the lower quartile, you had to find the average of 89 and 94, so you added those two together and divided by 2, giving you 91.5. The median, again, you needed to find the average, 103, and the upper quartile, 116.5. Again, find the average, 111 plus 122 divided by 2. That's how we got that 116.5. And then your maximum, also known as your upper extreme, is 130. We have a vertical line above the number line for each one of those numbers in the 5-number summary. We connected the lower quartile to the upper quartile for the box. We extended lines out for the whiskers to the lower extreme and the upper extreme. So today's objective is that you'll be using a data set represented already in a box and whisker plot to identify the 5 main portions of data. You'll know that you have it when you're able to identify and describe the lower extreme, also known as the minimum, the upper extreme, also known as the maximum, the median, the upper quartile, lower quartile, range, and inner quartile range with 80% accuracy. You'll need a calculator, paper, and pencil. As a review, here's our vocabulary. Also, as a review, here's a pictorial representation of our box and whisker plot. Here is the video for today on how to analyze box and whisker plots. Please pause this video, go into the presentation, and click on this link to watch this virtual nerd video. When you are finished, please come back and we will do a few practice problems. Let's do some independent practice. Example number 1. You're going to be given a box and whisker plot that displays information about the test scores for 25 students. We want you to find from this box and plot what is the lower extreme, what is the upper extreme, what is the number that represents the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. Please write this down on a piece of paper. When you are finished, please continue this video and we will review the solution.
Hi, let's get started on going through the examples for day 3, still dealing with box plots. For today's objective, you are actually going to be interpreting box plots and analyzing the data. So for example number 1, you were giving a display of information about test scores for 25 students. You were asked to identify the lower extreme, upper extreme, median, lower quartile, and upper quartile for this set of data. In doing so, your lower extreme was identified as 65, your lower quartile was identified as 75, your median is 85, your upper quartile is 90, and your upper extreme should have been 100.
For example number 2, we have the problem here. It says these box and whisker plots summarize the heights of the boys and the heights of the girls in an 8th grade class. So looking at the problem, we have a box and whisker plot above the number line that represents the boys' heights, and we have a box and whisker plot below the number line that represents the girls' heights. For example number 2, we want you to identify the 5-number summary for just the boys. All right, for just the boys. When you are finished, resume this video and we will go over the solution.
So for example number 2, you were given a box and whiskers plot and asked to summarize the heights of boys and girls that were in this 8th grade class. For example number 2, you were only supposed to identify the 5 points of data for the boys only. So with that being said, your lower extreme should have been 60, your lower quartile 63, median 65, upper quartile 66, and upper extreme as 68.
Our last example for today, we're going to use the same problem, but this time we want you to find the 5-number summary for just the girls. When you are finished, resume this video and we will review the solutions.
In analyzing example number 3, you were given the same graph of the boys and girls that were in this 8th grade class. But for this question, you were actually asked to identify the 5 points of data for the girls only. So with that being said, your lower extreme should have been 55, your lower quartile 60, median was 63, your upper quartile at 65, and your upper extreme at 69.
For homework tonight, you have 4 problems. Just read the directions and figure out what the answer is. So number 1 is talking about the median. Number 2, what is the lower quartile given the graph? Number 3, what is the upper extreme? And number 4, what is the upper quartile? We will review the solutions to these problems tomorrow. In addition, please make sure you complete at least one lesson on Dreambox. It should take you no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Use the hints if needed, but please make sure you complete the lesson. That's how Dreambox will get information as to whether they can move you on to another topic because you did a great job, or you need a little bit more practice on something you were struggling with in the lesson, and Dreambox will assign a lesson that will help you with that. It can only do that, if you complete the lessons. Have a great night, and we'll see you